in the Talmud, it states that Targum Shel Torah on Kolos Hager Amaro. It doesn't say Ketavo, that he wrote it down. It says that he composed it, but Baal Peh, as orally, as Shadal is at pains to point out at the beginning of his Sefer, Ohev Ger. In his view, for many centuries, this Targum was like other parts of the Torah Baal Peh. In other words, it was not written down. It was something that was learned and recited and memorized, just like the Mishnah and just like the Talmud. In other words, it is it's mashma from Rashi in a couple of places, and it is the opinion of most scholars who have researched this in more recent times, that the Mishnah and the Talmud, for example, were only written down fairly late. When I say fairly late, we're talking about we're speaking about the 7th, 8th centuries, something like that, approximately. This is also mashma from Rashi. In the Masechet Bava Metzia, Daf Lamed Gimel, Rashi speaks about the Talmud. He says, "Lefi shenitma'atu halevavot hitchilu dorothenu lechotavo." In other words, it was in our generations. Mashma is referring to times fairly close to his own time. One could and should discuss this question at greater length, but that we will put that aside for now, that question. Shadal is quite emphatic that Targum Onkelos was not written down originally, but it did become very quickly the standard and authoritative Targum, and it was learnt and it was memorized and it was passed down, just like other aspects of the Torah Baal Peh. This itself should tell us. This does tell us a great deal, and it should make a tremendous impression upon us, that all the treasures of the Torah Baal Peh, the Targumim, which are very ancient, as we are now discussing, the Targumim on the Torah, on the Nevi'im, and the Mishnah, and the Talmudim, and Midrashei Halacha, all these things were memorized, were recited, were taught, were passed down from generation to generation, and was only in more recent times, in other words, the earlier period of the Geonim, roughly, again, the 7th, 8th centuries, that these things were then committed to writing. And these generations and those before that time, we owe all our texts, all our knowledge of the Torah, we owe to those many, many generations of Hachamim and their Talmidim, and even the more simple people who often also memorized parts of the Torah, Torah Baal Peh. We owe to them a debt which cannot be described, which we cannot overemphasize.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. We would also like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.